Good evening, ultimate spectators from all over Europe. We are in the last slot of this elite invite tournament taking place in Leuven, Belgium. The women's division is going to be the division to finish us off on this Friday evening. We have a Pool B on this stream using the AI video camera. German-speaking teams on both sides. One coming out of Vienna, Austria is Box Ultimate Vienna, taking on Jinx Midnight from Berlin, Germany, formerly known as Jinx only. The name change has recently been explained in the In and Out podcast by our dear old friend Ravi Vasudevan. It was exactly for the reasons of the ranking as well, or maybe sometimes a slight confusion in terms of who the roster is going to, who is going to be on the roster of those teams. They do indeed also have a Masters division of their Berliner team, and they have decided to use these little amendments to make it clear as to what team is going to participate in which tournament, and also in case both teams were applying for a spot in the ranking system of the EUC series, just to make sure that the results get attributed to the right team. So Jinx currently leading Pool B, and they will start on offense in this late evening game, and it is only up to the players on the field how quickly or slowly they're actually going to finish. Big forehand gainer and opener by Jinx. Sarah Melvin returns the disc to Levke Walczak. Of course, neither one of these players originally from Berlin, but choosing to become a part of this team together with a few other international players. And a clean hold by Jinx. Nice lateral movement, shooting for the front cone of the end zone. We do see some Swedish pickups on Jinx, already part of the team last year when the team finished second at EUCF. Oda Humlong, for example. So Sarah Melvin is Irish. I've mentioned her already. Paulina Lewandowska, a Polish elite player, formerly competing with the Wrocław team of flowers in the eastern region. Of course, the German team quite well equipped with not only German national team players from EUC last year, but also from the World Games team that took the tournament that took place 2 years ago. But here is Box for the first time on offense. Jinx opting for match D. They go through the break side. Scheidel finds Kramer on the sideline. Maya now once more through the break side. No continuation there, but they do opt out for the wide throw to the front cone of the end zone. A lovely backhand hook. A great visionary throw for the first score of the game for Box. We're tied at 1. This stream, of course, just as all the other ones this weekend, available on the Solid Sports platform. You can watch it by purchasing either a monthly pass or a season-long pass to make sure that you can follow the ultimate events from the EUCS series all year long, all the way up to EUCF, which is going to take place in Belgium as well later this year, around the end of September, but this time not in Leuven, but in a new location. And we're yet to see if it will be just as windy and rainy as Belgium likes to be around that time of the year. Jinx received the pole and sent it immediately towards the brick mark. And a bit of a zony look out of Box straight away. Hoping to make Jinx adjust at least a little bit and slow down their offense. Flora Scala gets the reset off to Herkens, who's now looking for a reset, but goes for the up line, muscled through the Box defense. Lefty backhand into the end zone. Another clean hold for Jinx. And it looks, if you can hear the field audio, it looks like both sides will have strong sideline support. Of course, most teams have already finished their games, and given that it's just the first day of the tournament, there is still enough energy and curiosity, so to speak, for going and watching and supporting your compatriots that are yet to play out the last games of this first day of the tournament. So like I said, Jinx currently leading Pool B. They eventually beat Yaka on Universe 14-13. Box currently third in the game, in the pool, after their win over Iceni 15-13 in the last round. Stoppage on the field. Disc checked back in Oh, and an overthrow to Obermeier. Bit of a miscommunication on that reset. And Jinx waste no time. Immediately go the other way. Gavich picks up the disc and doesn't even need to get the reset because they shoot straight for the end zone, and that's a first early break for Jinx. And Wall City makes their presence known on the sideline. These two teams always supporting each other ever since they have both made their ways to these elite tournaments together. So I hope I will be correct when I say that this is the first ranking tournament for Jinx. A lot of the players were present at Tom's, but in the likes of the German national team that has taken the trophy last weekend in an exciting final against Great Britain. So right now, if you look at the EUCS ranking on the EUF website, if you still don't know the address, it's ranking.ultimatefederation.eu. You will not find Jinx in the table. However, you will find their opponents, Box Vienna, currently in position number 11. Here's a wide swing from them. Great gainer towards the middle of the field. Schnedl. The veteran player for Box. She has seen the better days, she has seen the worst days, but they've been on the rise, improving their EUCF results every year for the past 3 or 4 years, eventually making it all the way to top 8. Schnedl, of course, being one of the Euro stars. Oh, and here is the defense. I think there was no second effort, as a foul will be called and uncontested on Marion Meyer. And another wobble on that catch. And Walczak immediately thinks about the deep throw. Nothing there. Huge backhand ripper into the end zone. Players underneath it. It is collected by Jinx. Great put. Didn't quite catch the assist there, nor the person who caught it. But great piece of D-line offense by Jinx. And a second break added early to the scoreboard. So if you're wondering about the Yaka Jinx game, it is one of the, I believe, 2 games that weren't streamed so far today in this tournament, and it might have been one of the most exciting matchups that people were wanting to see. Don't be afraid. It is recorded somewhere. It was just done by a private videographer for Jinx. So if you really, really want to see, maybe reach out to a friend or two on that Jinx team, and maybe they would be, or Yaka team really, and maybe they would be willing to share that footage with you for your own private enjoyment. But otherwise, we're streaming all 4 fields all weekend long. And there's definitely more tight matches to come. Lovely pull. It rolls just out of bounds. That's unfortunate. It almost looked like it was going to stay in. But a front end zone corner going upwind for box. Not an easy starting position, for sure. But no hesitation. Good handler movement gets box underway. We see the Jinx defenders trying to stay in between the disc and their receiver. But here they go. They collect the disc out of the air. And an overshoot. But a second effort. I believe that was Valcha collecting the disc in the end zone. They get lucky, but they were aware. So whatever works, works. And a second break in a row. Jinx leaving nothing, no room for doubt that they belong to the top of that Pool B. (5-1). An early start. Of course, the other matchups may be a bit more even in the women's division. So spoiler alert, if you don't want to listen, Shout currently leading 3-1 over Jet Set. Moon Cup East Block tied at 2. And Yaka Aisini tied at 3. Obermeyer in the middle for box. Gets it off eventually. Nice undercut. Prevented by the mark, but they go through the break side instead. They find a way. They keep going. Obermeyer has to lay out to get that disc, but just out of reach. And Jinx have a person D, but decide to take it slow this time. Nice switch by Box. And a bit of a high disc. Great effort by Scheidel to keep this Box offense alive. And a lovely forehand put, but the Jinx defense, double coverage is there. They run the disc towards the front of the end zone line once more. Can they get 3 in a row? Or will Box stay alive? Forehand hook, intercepted. Box goes for it one more time. Scheidel centers. And a hand block is rewarded with some cheering from the sideline. It's already a third turnover by Box. So lots and lots of pressure by the Germans. This one looks like it was going to be a bit too far, but it is not. Instead, it is run down and caught expertly. And Jinx just keep on going. Pressing and stealing meters and meters. This one was going to be run down all the way to the end zone, and it is. I didn't have the best angle there, but it looks like the feet land in the end zone before the receiver catches the disc, and that's a third break in a row for Jinx. This first half is not looking very good for Box. Of course, they definitely should not give up, because for the ranking, every single point counts. So you want to make sure that if you play a good team or a team that kind of seems like it will do well throughout the season, you want to avoid a blowout at all costs, and you want to score as many points as possible and then hope that they will just pull you up throughout the system. So I'm a little bit surprised that I haven't seen a timeout from the Viennese team just yet, but it looks like maybe the system works and they just need to refocus and work on the individual errors. It has been quite a long day after all. The women's division started off as the first ones, the first game at 9, when you play the first game at 9 a.m. and then continue and finish off with one that starts at 6:30. It is a long, long day. And a beautiful forehand huck. So close. But it looked like either the receiver kind of gave up on it, thinking that it's too fast, or it really was from the start. Difficult to say from the camera angle. But if you're competing against a team like Jinx, you really, really need to make sure that you hit those open targets. Jinx surprisingly pick up in the end zone, trying to get the first pass off easily without defense. A smart move. You don't see that too often. And a lefty forehand huck, not collected by Flora Scala. Fierce downfield cutter. Horizontal movement by Box. Serves them well. But can they go the other way as well? They think about the deep shot once more. Nothing there. And as they turn towards the reset, it's a bit too late. And Jinx defense gets in the way once more. As they slowly pick up, trying to get the players a bit of a breather and a moment to realize that they're now on O and have to focus on every single pass in order to reach the end zone successfully. Through the break side, they keep swinging. Definitely do not have the roster numbers right here. Great grab. And of course, as I say that, the next one ends up on the ground. On an unfortunate draw, big backhand thrown to no one there. And it seems like there will be a stoppage, so either a foul on the throw. Yeah, definitely. So the stall count will reset. Layout D from Jinx. They waste no time. They want to be finished and done with this game as soon as they can. That is number 84. Unfortunately, don't have her on my roster. It seems, I think Jinx were supposed to receive their new jerseys. There you go. Great layout, second effort. They bring it in once more. I was just saying that Jinx were meant to get their new jerseys delivered before Elite Invite. Unfortunately, that did not happen, so the jersey numbers don't quite match. And we haven't had time to update it. Maybe that will happen as this tournament progresses. But Jinx on a strike here. They are 1 point away from taking the half. And Box Vienna will really need to work hard to dig themselves out of this hole. As I was saying, Jinx have not participated in a tournament where their participation would count towards the EUCS ranking, whereas Box have already. They have hosted a tournament on their home turf, the Vienna Spring Break. If we look at the results, they won over Sharks Ultimate and the Swiss team Zu Schwarm, but lost against their compatriots Ketchup Graz, who have... And in the meantime, they also scored a point. And that's a very, very important hold, even though it was downwind, so a slightly easier possession, so to speak. But an important point nonetheless, to add at least one to the current scoreboard that looks a bit sad on their part for now. So yeah, mentioning Ketchup Graz, another Austrian team, always excellent to see two teams coming from smaller countries or smaller ultimate communities, both playing at the top elite level. We see it in Belgium, we see it in Austria, we see it in the Czech Republic, of course. Graz winning the bronze medal at Spring Tour and also participating in Tom's tourney, where they counted their games towards the ranking. Very, very excited for this year's women's division. All the results are so tight, so similar. It can really be anybody's game. But here, after a while, is the Jinx O-line. Lovely put to Ghana. Currently leading the stats for Jinx in terms of the Canadian scoring. There she is. With a high release forehand for the reset. And she immediately strikes deep. Two defenders on her. Who's going to read the disc better? Seems like the disc just slipped off her fingers. Good defensive pressure, though, from Box. Even though she did have good positioning, they were there just to give her that little extra nervous nudge or nudge of nervousness that might have contributed to that drop. And a first chance for Box to break. Lovely break side put. It's going to be chased down. The receiver needs to lay out, but gets there eventually. And Box's D-line will do all the work they can to keep Box alive in this first half. And it seems like there was a call downfield. And as it gets resolved, the disc is live again. Poach is in the open side. Box really, really far with their stack. And they decide to go for that big forehand shot. So many players underneath. That's a Hail Mary. Who's going to get there? It's the defender who knocks it away. And here's Valchuk. Great continuation from von Stebut. They take it around. Lefty, offhand, backhand to the break side. That's a nice forehand to Ghana, who immediately continues to Valchuk into the end zone, and that's an easy collection for Valchuk. She could do this all day long. What an incredible angle on that throw. Kind of a same third throw, but put in so well, and Valchuk was so open that Jinx, despite that little hiccup on the last point of this first half, they take the half in a very confident and quick fashion. So we're going to go into a quick halftime break, get some refreshments, and Box fans, make sure to cheer up and help your team get back on track by joining in the live comments, live chat. And as the teams switch sides, I will take a short break myself, checking out. Welcome back to the second half of action. Last round of the women's games has already started and is well underway, especially in this game. Box lost the first half quite a bit against their German opponents, Jinx. And here they are, unfortunately, turning over after what could have been a good chance to stay in this game as they started on offense coming into the second half. It is a tough game to play, knowing that Jinx has topped their pool. And these big shots have just been unstoppable. They've put up another one all the way into the end zone. And they start off the second half with another break, going up 9-2. And that is a difficult score for the Austrians. And if you're hearing some weird noises in the background, it is indeed my baby joining the commentary for now. Trying to cheer for some good women's ultimate. It's all right. He's going for a walk now, in case you're worried. So whatever talk the coach has had with his players in the huddle during halftime, unfortunately, it did not work quite as expected. But you can tell how tight the women's division is. Box ended up beating Iceni in this Pool B game, while Iceni were actually very successful at the other spring invite in London. So it really depends on the condition and on the conditions, be it the weather or the current state of mind of the players and of the whole team. And another unfortunate throwaway by Box, who've almost made it all the way to the end zone. And once more, Jinx wastes no time And a huge forehand hook will be somewhat contested on the catch, but it's lucky that the receiver made the catch, because otherwise I think there was a case for a foul call potentially, but instead, one more break for the Germans. And 10-2 might be one of the games with the biggest point difference that we have seen so far at the tournament. But looking at the other women's games, spoiler alert, Shout currently 9-2 over Jet Set, who have looked really good this morning against Moon Cup, but it looks like their performance has gotten sort of less and less confident throughout the day. And Moon Cup currently winning over East Block 7-5. East Block beating Bologna actually in the first time slot this morning. Another surprisingly tight game is Yaka versus Iceni, currently tied at 6. But back to the action on the field. Box find themselves in possession once more, facing this tight German defense. I think there will be, nope, retracted. So a run through D by Jinx. Valchak picks up immediately, hoping to go chuck it straight for the end zone. That's a great put immediately, exactly into the hands of the intended receiver. So nicely done. And unfortunately, Box unable to put up too much resistance to the driving force their German counterparts currently are. So recognizing the time that has gone so far and the look of the scoreboard, it is quite understandable that a timeout might be the one thing that Bucks haven't tried yet. So this is what they do. Maybe switching up some people, seeing if they can adapt a bit better to the D-line pressure. In fairness, given the width of the rosters here, I keep seeing the same faces on the line for both teams, but maybe that's just the fact that they're divided into O-line and D-line. Pull lands out of bounds, so will be taken to the break mark. I believe that's Maya. And a vertical stack. Nice gainer and a big backhand. They finally find the space. And even though the disc is tipped by the defender, they finally get the collection that they needed, that they wanted. Doesn't matter whether this was a set play or not, it worked out fine. And like I said, every point counts in this system. And Box can finally put on a strong D-line. hoping to challenge the domination that Jinx has brought into this game so far. Of course, to avoid the blowout rule, they would need to get all the way to 7 points, supposing that the game would finish at 15. So, like I said, if you are a lower ranked team and you're trying to get pulled up by a higher ranked team, you always want to make sure that you score at least, the score ends up being 15-7, whereas when it's 15-6, it can count as a blowout. And that way that is the result that you want as the higher ranked team in order to not get pulled down by a team that hasn't been doing so well in the competition. So box D line and a bit of an arrowhead zone look. Only 2 handlers set up by Jinx, which can be quite advantageous against such defense. I think that was Homlong with that reset pass to the back. If I recognize her long braid correctly. No upline cut. They go through the break side, but that was a zipper of a shot. And the box defense does generate a turnover, but they will need much more than that. Oh, they overlook the wide open player in the open side. That's unfortunate. That was Zyla. Just happy to take several shots among the handlers, but they find a nice continuation to Schnedel. Zyla once more. Sporting her pigtails, but this one intercepted by Jinx. Homlong puts up a floaty forehand. Can the defense get there? No, unfortunately, nor the height nor the positioning are there in favor of the box player. And despite the errant throw or errant catch you decide, Jinx do add 1 more to the scoreboard. Now within 3 of the point cap. One more chance for the box online. Obermeier takes the reset. Not much happening downfield. Back to Obermeier. Wide swing will not be run down. The wind pushes it out of bounds. And Jinx with a short field to work with. Flora Scala picks up the disc. Great awareness. That was Schremp. And a quick continuation into the end zone. This just looks way too easy for the Germans. And they find themselves within reach of taking this game. Similarly to their Italian counterparts, BFD Shout leading 12-2 over Jet Set. Moon Cup currently a 3-point lead over East Block, 9-6. Yaka took the half over Iceni, 8-6 after being tied at 6. So finally getting that break to jump away a little bit. Like I said, last round of the games, we will follow up tomorrow with more action from the open division, followed up by mixed. If you haven't had a chance to watch some of the games, feel free to log into Solid Sport, rewatch some exciting matchups from today, and then tomorrow just tune in live. The best of European Ultimate streamed all day long, all 4 fields available, be it on the VO cam or through the Ulti TV production. Another pull lands almost in the end zone. And a big put. Valchak is underneath it, gets up high and prevents the last pass. And Jinx respond with a deep shot of their own, layout attempt. Unfortunately, unsuccessful. But both really nice shots. Fun to watch. One more chance for Box. They wind up once more. That's a good backhand, but a bit too low. Intercepted once more. Vienna. Wide open receiver. No mark on her so far. She centers to Valchak. Valchak tries to go through the break side, but no one there. So she does what she does best, fires for the end zone, and that is another catch and another score, and we are finding ourselves before the first game point of this Pool B matchup. First potential game point on our hands. Last chance for the Box O-line to do what they couldn't do all game. Zyla puts up a floaty one, and it is wobbled right in front of their own end zone. Jinx just need one pass to take this game home. They decide to go backwards, take it easy. This one's up high, and the defender gets there on time. Centers the disc. Continuation through the break side. Zyler once more. Box staying alive. They keep fighting. It is tough. The defensive pressure is crazy. Big backhand. Lovely collection. They do bring it down, but they don't continue into the end zone quite yet. Brandl to Zyler. Back to Brandl. Nice step around for the break side, but she doesn't take it. Zyler now examining the options downfield. Thinks about the hammer. Would have been a nice solution to a bit of a problem. Schneider shoots for the end zone, and that's a late game score for Box. But like I said, every single point is important in these ranked games. So props to Box for working hard. And they make the scoreboard look a little better. At 14-4, the first game point successfully averted. They seem to have a bit more success than Belgian Jet Set, currently falling short to BFD Shout 14-2. A little bit of coaching on the Jinx side as well. I believe at Tom's I saw Nikki Prien on the sideline, even though she's rostered here as a player for Jinx. Jinx O-line picks up and centers. Vertical setup. They go backwards for the jam cut. Lefty forehand, so dangerous. Umlong. Good quick disc movement. Run down, but it looks out of bounds. The Bucks do it again and force a turnover. That is great effort from the Austrians. Really, really working hard to stay in the game. Try to take it around, nothing there. Upline gets free. Centered. Inside throw. But unfortunately, overthrown. And the disc is back with Jinx. Can they finish off the game here and now? Ganna stretches out her hand to collect. I'm sorry, that wasn't Ganna. That was Schrempf. But a call on the field stops the play. It looks like we see the signal for a pick and the disc will be sent back. Disc back in the play. Lovely pressure from Box. And it works out quite well in their favor as the next pass is overthrown. And Box now with a much shorter field to work with. I would like to say that it is Rottensteiner picking up, but I'm not 100% sure, as the wide camera angle doesn't allow me to see quite well the shirt numbers. Lefty forehand into the end zone, and Bucks do it once more. They add another one to the scoreboard. That is heroic effort, honestly. That is so well done. Another game point successfully averted, and Bucks go up 14-5. That is great determination and a bit of a lost focus from the Germans, honestly, because this game could have been over 5 minutes ago. So just as you were about to close your stream and forget about this game and just go on with your evening, Box come out with a surprising second breath, so to speak, and without hesitation, aim for the end zone. They got 2 break chances in the last point and managed to profit out of the second one. And here they are with a bit more energy. You see them running down the pole. And Jinx really need to refocus as they try to make the third potential game point work out in their favor. Wide swing. Match D from Box. I think that's a good choice. The little zone look wasn't doing much for them, really. Jinx forced to swing it wide. Omlong widens up for the end zone, and that's a backhand throw. And the defender, unfortunately, doesn't have a chance to turn around, and Jinx finally scored the last point of this game. 15-5 is honestly a much better score than what it could have been, or what it looked like at the start of the at the end of the first half and throughout the second half. Box put up a great fight towards the end. Unfortunately, on the third try, the Germans did not let that chance of taking the game slip away. So, pool games played out. Go to eucs-schedule.ultimatefederation.eu to check out the results. We will have more action coming your way, but not today, ladies and gentlemen, not today. You have a good rest now and tune back in tomorrow. And we will be very happy to welcome you back on the stream on the Solid Sports platform. My name is Rachel Doshnerova, and it was a pleasure to host you today. For now, though, and for today, I am checking out.